So this is the continuation of Hathapradipika of Svatmarama from chapter 5 and onwards. Kundalini forms the very foundation of the entire science of yoga in the manner the Lord of Serpents is the support of the earth, with all its forests and mountains. So this actually refers to the Naga or the serpent civilization, who are documented to have taught humans these techniques of yoga. Actually, Patanjali himself, who wrote the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which is the basis of the yoga science, is the codification of the yoga science, he himself is portrayed to be half human and half a serpent. Referring to the techniques that are shared here, these should be preserved carefully like the casket of jewels and should not be related to anybody. Like a noble woman would not disclose about her sexual pleasures. A yogi who is well versed with the practices of Mahamudra, Nabhamudra, Uddiyana, Jalandhara and Mula Bandha becomes eligible for the success, siddhis, in yoga. Referring to Mahamudra, just as a snake hit by a stick becomes straight, similarly the Kundalini becomes straight as a result of this mudra. Mahamudra is supposed to bring great accomplishments to the aspirants, and it removes the fear from death and old age. Therefore, it should be carefully protected. It should not be disclosed to people easily. So this refers to the Mahabandha. This stimulates all the currents of the nadis moving in upward direction, brings about the confluence of the nadis, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna, and fixes the mind between the eyebrows, Kedara. Mula Bandha leads to the union of Prana and Apana, Nada and Bindu, which brings success in yoga, in which there is no doubt. When the Apana rises up and reaches the region of fire, which is the navel region, the flame of the fire blazes forth, being stimulated by Vayu. Vayu is the inner current of prana. Then the fire and the apana approach the prana, which is hot by nature. The heat of the body is intensified altogether and the body does not come to decay. Thus, the unmanifest kundali, being agitated, gets awakened like a snake beaten with a stick, certainly becomes straight. Then, just as a serpent enters into a hole, she, Kundali, enters the Brahmanadi, Sushumna. Therefore, a yogi should always practice Mula Bandha. Kundali refers to Kundalini, Kula Kundali. It's a latent force sitting in the root of our spine. And through these practices, it gets activated. Among all the bandhas, Uddiyana is the best. With firm application of Uddiyana, Mula Bandha is automatically formed. Usually, the three bandhas are simultaneously practiced and not independently. They are specially used in the practice of pranayama. Whatever divine nectar is secreted from the moon, all that is consumed by the sun. Therefore, the human body decays. So the moon here is a gland producing certain chemicals or hormones that rejuvenate our body. And without practice and without certain techniques, this liquid, it goes down into our digestive tract, which is the sun, and it gets burned up. It doesn't get used. So Hathapradipika actually prescribes some techniques which are not advisable. I myself don't practice them, that regenerate the body and that actually enable certain yogis to become completely immortal, have a completely immortal body. The practice, which puts the navel up and palate down, the sun up and moon down, is known as Viparita Karani. It removes all the diseases. An aspirant requires increased quantity of food. If one does not take sufficient food, fire quickly consumes the body. This is during intense practice of sadhana, of yoga, of hatha yoga, of asanas, and of the mudras. So this refers to what today's medicine calls urinotherapy. The first and the last flow of the urine should be avoided due to its being acidic and useless. The adepts of Khanda Kapalikas consume the cool middle flow of the urine. Many people find it disgusting. However, urine has very special medicinal qualities. I can tell you from my own family, our great-grandmothers, they used to use urine in the mountains as toothwash. So they would use it to make their teeth clean, and also as a disinfection when you don't have anything else. There's a whole science around urinotherapy. As a door is easily opened with a key, a yogi breaks open the door to salvation by Kundalini. The latent Kundalini Shakti, which is located above the Khanda, brings about liberation to a yogi, while it causes bondage to the ignorant. A true yogi is the one who awakens Kundali. Khanda, which resembles the egg of a bird, is placed above the genitals and below the navel. The 72,000 nadis originate from there. So this could be referred to as the Manipura chakra. Jiva, the embodied soul, is in the form of prana and apana, moves upwards and downwards through the left and right channels. It is not experienced because of its fickleness. Exhalation produces a sound like ha, while inhalation produces a sound like sa. The jiva constantly chants the mantra hamsa, hamsa, in the form of exhalation and inhalation. So the hamsa meditation is a meditation where, as I described here, or it can also be internally chanted. And hamsa actually means a swan. Hamsas as a swan, representing our inner jiva, our soul. One should skillfully catch hold of the hooded serpent, who is sitting facing backwards, and stimulate her daily, in the morning and evening, for 1.5 hours. So this describes how much we should practice and invest, how much time we should invest into doing practices. That is 3 hours a day. All the techniques involving Vayu should be practiced with concentration. Otherwise, the practices are futile for the yogis. Without Raja Yoga, asana is not effective, nor Nisha, Kumbhaka, nor even the various mudras. So Raja Yoga is, I by the way recommend the commentary on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras by Swami Vivekananda, which is called also Raja Yoga. It talks about the other aspects an aspirant needs to follow. It's the rules and regulations and the step-by-step guide how to liberate oneself from the bondage of the senses, from superstitions of the mind and various untruths, until one realizes or knows the unknowable, which is he sees his source. Thus ends the 5th chapter of Hathapradipika. Sixth chapter. As a tortoise quickly pulls the limbs within, similarly a yogi withdraws the senses towards the self, Atman. Sense withdrawal sounds weird a little bit. Like, how do I withdraw my senses? Actually, our senses, namely hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting and touching, they are just sensors. They're literally our sensors. If you look at a human body as a robot, they're sensors, and they receive a signal from the outside, and this signal travels into the central unit where it gets processed. So for all this signal, for everything, energy is required. So when you use your senses a lot, you use a lot of your energy on those sensual perceptions. When you pull in this energy, when you withdraw this energy that is being used up on the senses and you minimize it, and so this energy will be available for you to focus towards yourself with a big capital S, the Atma. Whatever favorable or unfavorable a yogi listens through the ears, he withdraws from all of them, considering them as the self. Whatever hot or cold is touched by the skin, the eminent yogi withdraws from it, knowing it as self. Whatever ugly or beautiful is seen by the eyes, a yogi withdraws from it, knowing it as self. Whatever is palatable or unpalatable to the tongue, the yogi withdraws from it, considering it as self. Whatever pure or impure smelt by the nose, the yogi considers it as self and withdraws. After mastering the asanas, pranayama and pratyahara, one should practice dharana. I'm doing a complete series on meditation, written by Sri M. These dharana and meditation, definition of meditation, and so on, are very well described. Holding the 5 bhutas, elements, separately in the heart, while making the mind steady, is known as dharana. Adopt a comfortable sitting posture, with the eyes gazing at an external point, while mind is focused inside, keeping the body straight and remaining motionless. This is dhyana mudra, which bestows success. With the mind is focused inside, it is usually at some point, at some center in our system. And different centers have different characteristics. So depending on what you look to, how you look to progress, you focus on different centers. The internal prana should be meditated upon, which holds all the creation, which gives an experience of the utmost blissful state, and wherefrom the speech emanates. The effulgent fire, which is like 100 morning sun illuminating all the 3 worlds, should be retained in the heart. Doing so, one does not get affected by fire. Water, which is like nectar overflowing and flooding the 3 worlds, should be held in the heart. Doing so, one does not have fear from liquids. The earth, which supports the whole world, inhabited by the creatures, and is a composition of elements, should be always held in the heart. Doing so, one does not have fear from solids. One is recognized as a true yogi who knows the Hathapradipika chakra, having 8 petals facing downwards, which is as beautiful as the flower of plantain and contains all the wisdom of yoga. The 8 characteristics of the self, such as sound, touch, appearance, taste, smell, mind, intellect, and ego, are found in this chakra. Birth, death, inertia, anxiety, sleep, hunger, thirst, astonishment, ailment, and apprehension are the 10 blemishes situated in the heart. Delight, dryness, consumption, emaciation, attachment, perspiration, anger, violence, fear, and forgiveness are the 8 demerits residing in the Hathapradipika, day and night. Hathapradipika is the heart center. These are 18 great demerits lying in the Hathapradipika and the human beings. One who is devoid of these is considered as divinity on the earth. The set of 8 Rajasa characteristics situated in the Hathapradipika are amorous sentiment, laughter, compassion, fierceness, valor, terror, horror, and wonder. Forgiveness, wisdom, craving, respect, generosity, arrogance, initiative, and fortitude are the merits situated in the 8-petaled lotus, as described by the Siddhas. Lethargy, stupidity, anxiety, endeavor, jealousy, self-control, criticism, and falsehood are located in the heart of human beings. Unrestrained, languor, sloth, valor, brilliance, good health, violence, envy are the characteristics found in the Hathkamala. Confidence, forgetfulness, remorse, pride, ignorance, samirana, breath, roughness, softness are the dispositions situated in the heart of the human beings. Wisdom, detachment, supremacy, virtues, 8 deities of 8 directions, happiness and sorrow, all lie in the Hathapradipika of the yogis. One should meditate on the self placed in the lotus heart, which is as bright as lightning, and purified by the practice of pranayama, fixing the gaze on the tip of the nose. Thus one becomes identified with Brahman. So you see how much our heart holds and why it's such a wonderful place. It holds so many characteristics of us and can resolve so many problems for us that we have. Meditating with the focus on the heart will, if done properly and with utmost concentration and focus and one-pointedness, these characteristics that we just went through will slowly and gradually reveal themselves to you. Because many emotions, many feelings and other characteristics are suppressed inside and we don't even know about them. And what concentration does, it sheds light. It illumines this specific place. And we're talking about the energetic center. We're not talking about the actual physical heart, or although they are placed at the same place and they are most likely very much linked in some way. We're talking about the energetic center. So by meditating upon this, many things in our life can be solved. And we can decondition ourselves by this meditation. When I say decondition, what I mean is that we have many obstacles and fears and misconceptions that we have in our mind that block us from being completely free. So breaking them and making them smaller and decomposing them will show us the way towards freedom. Ajna chakra is the one where from the chanting of Om is produced. A yogi meditating on Atman there is the form of Shiva, attain liberation. A yogi should meditate on the Atman, which is all-pervading, pure and vast as the sky and as bright as the rays of the sun. Thus he attains salvation. Adopt the posture of Vajrasana daily, keeping the body erect. Have control of the breath and visualize the tattva in the petals of the Hathapradipika. Thus one attains liberation. Thus ends the 6th chapter. In this chapter there are some meditation techniques of focusing on the two centers, the Hathapradipika and the Ajna chakra. And you see, it's only up to you which one you focus on based on your own preference. And you can experiment with this and see what you like, what works for you.